I need my boots for the wedding. Oh. Oh, they're dusty. Look at that. Oh, what's that? Think I got an idea. Tire. If you've ever jumped on a sketchy bike to do a non-sketchy road trip, which turned into a sketchy road trip due to the sketchy bike, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. What's up, y'all? Pecos, Texas. I am en route to El Paso, Texas, where I've been invited to my best friend's wedding. And I wanted to ride, but I heard about all the cartels and how they're stealing any bikes and jeeps and kind of things they see close to the border, so they could transfer them to the other side of the border so that they could just keep for themselves, and there's no way to track the vehicle once it gets over. So I decided to whip this little Harley Abelson together and take this down.
Much later.
I wonder what kind of award they give, like an iron butt, for doing this trip on a vintage bike with really deflated tires. Hey, is that a...
By sheer coincidence.
Is that a Bennigans? I haven't seen a Bennigans since like the 90s. This is a lot harder to do on a single speed. That is a Bennigans. I think it's open. Oh man. No, I think it's abandoned. Oh man. Someone got in an accident. Not me. I'm safe here on 2 wheels. Two wheels is always better than 4. Am I right? Whoa. There's cars out there. I think that Bennigans is open. Alright. It's about time for lunch anyway. You know, perforated leather, what they don't tell you about it is it doesn't really work if you're not going fast enough. Thank God for downhills. Whew. Is this how Lance Armstrong got all the gold medals taken away from him? Right. Just in time too. I think my gas is on empty. Oh, rad. super rad. I think it's open. Oh. Oh. All right. Oh, yeah. Business hours. Oh, they're definitely open. Ooh. Fellow rider. Let's check out this Bennigans. Yo, this is a legit Bennigans, like the last Bennigans in existence, and it has everything that they used to have. Like, look at this, the Monte Cristo. Trying to get it in frame here. Turkey O'Toole, the original Irish dip. Like, this is legit the Bennigans. Let me see, they have the Big Irish. The Big Irish! Look right here. I used to get that, like, when I was a kid. Jesus. The Irishman Whiskey Glazed Burger. Oh, man. Look at this. Legit. Look at that Monte Cristo. French onion soup.
Soon after.
Now I know how vintage Harley riders feel when they're on the freeway. Doing pretty good, almost there. Another 300 miles to go.
Many unbearable hours later. Later, in the void.
Look at her. She's dirty. But I like her dirty. Means I ride her rough. What's up, guys? I am back from El Paso. It wasn't that bad. While I was out there, people were worried because I guess in the news there was a cartel shootout in the middle of El Paso, and I just happened to be on the side of town that wasn't going on it, so I was fine. Ooh. There we go. God, I love the power this bike has. It's like riding a hot-rodded car. You just have all this torque and horsepower right at your fingertips. It's just so crazy. And I ride in rock mode like, I don't know, 90% of the time. Because I just like to have that power on hand. I don't have to like go crazy with it. But having it on hand all the time just really does help me out. Plus, I'd rather be used to riding in rock modes more. So when I bump down to the other ride modes, the rain mode and the roll mode, I'm consciously thinking about how I'm using that power when I'm in that reserve mode. Because in rock mode, I'm so used to it. I just take off and go, and you know, slow corners, fast corners, everything. You just get used to it. It's pretty It's pretty jumpy on the throttle, but it's really easy to finesse as well. They engineered this bike really amazing, to be honest. So El Paso was fun. Wedding went off great. One of the interesting things about El Paso, as I was driving around, a lot of people have vintage cars and trucks. There was a lot of like resto mods, just like everybody's had them as everyday drivers. Or you saw projects sitting in like driveways and stuff, and their car lots had them like sitting there for sale as well. I thought that was really cool. Like, I'm not a huge like car guy, I'm more of a bike guy, but I do like one day want an older car. I got some weird taste in cars too, but I do want like an older car or an old truck that I could have as my like daily driver, I guess you would say. If I'm not on a bike, I could run errands on that thing. I'm on a bike like 90% of the time, and down here in Texas, for the most part, I can ride, I would say like 70 to 80% of the time. I don't mind the extreme cold. I know some people do and they don't want to do it. I don't really mind the extreme cold. I'll ride in cold, I don't care. As long as the bike will start up, I'll be on it. And then extreme hot, well, you haven't noticed, a couple of my older videos, it was over 100 degrees and I'm riding around and I'm wearing perforated leather. Like, I'm not afraid of riding in heat. And I'll do some crazy long rides in 100-degree weather. But I think that's also just a byproduct of growing up in Texas, when we had those 100-degree streaks, which like triple-digit heat for like the 35th day in a row, and I was always riding around. You just kind of get used to it. Yeah, the wedding went off great. I had a lot of fun. I'll throw some footage in from the wedding right here. For the most part, with the exception of the next couple days, I got some more events coming up that I got to do and work on. After that, I should be able to hunker down back in the studio for a bit. I got some ideas for some tracks I want to record and some other things. I'm like backlogged on emails with musicians I need to talk to, and I tried to do it out there. I had a really bad signal in El Paso, which is very odd because certain parts of El Paso, or not El Paso, but just outside the border, when you're running alongside the border, going up from Van Horn, there's like repeater towers, like cell towers, out in the middle of nowhere. You can see them, and you can notice how your signal gets stronger there. But I would probably attribute that to those, you know, the U.S. government uses those portable cell towers that they install when they want to spy on people, so they boost the signal so they can track more cell phones in the area. I would think that that's probably why it's like that right there, because I was running parallel to the areas where there's a lot of border crossings. So that's my best guess, at least, because it was very odd. I'd have no signal, and then like out of nowhere there'd just be signal like crazy, and then it'd be gone again. Now, if you're planning on doing a road trip on an old bike, especially a sketchy old bike that you put together from spare parts, 1 out of 10 don't recommend. Not that fun. Unless you really want to work out, you want to take a lot of days to get to where you're going, then yeah, I guess go have fun, adventure. I wouldn't do that type of trip on that bike again. I just didn't want to get this thing stolen. So to me, it was the safest route to go about doing that. So this trip to El Paso was my first time ever being a best man. And I had no idea the stuff that was going on. Like, I don't know, I guess it's been a while since I've been to a wedding and like actually like paid attention to how things go off. Like, I honestly couldn't remember. Like, the last wedding I went to was probably 2019, maybe. Like, I just didn't remember that, you know, the bridesmaid and the maid of honor and the best man do so many other things behind the scenes. It just didn't really occur to me. That being said, my buddy getting married, super laid back. So, but if anybody saw the behind the scenes, especially his now wife, they would probably have not been very happy with, should probably not be very happy with knowing how we were last minute because we were running around, because he was just showing me around El Paso and showing me his place that he hangs out and does things at. And I need to take another trip out there, kind of showcase the stuff that he does in his business. I think that'd be cool. I'll plan that out in the future. This trip was kind of more about getting there, getting through the rehearsal, getting through the wedding, and then getting back. If you've ever been to Texas, you know how long our rides or our drives are here just to get from place to place. I mean, you can drive fully for a whole day, over 24 hours, and still be in the state of Texas. That's not very difficult to do. I'm pretty excited about some of the music I need to work on. I had a lot of ideas past couple weeks, and just getting through everything else I gotta get through. I didn't really have time to sit down and even record myself doing something. Just kind of working on other projects takes up a lot of time. And for anybody keeping up with it, I actually got a pair of shoes. I found a random site that sells individual shoes, left or right. And I went to them to try to get a pair of shoes. Not a pair of shoes. I went to them to try to get a single shoe. And then it turns out they had a pair that I liked. So I ended up just buying that pair. So now I have a pair of Vans. I am still looking for that single shoe, but I'm not in that much of a hurry to like just pull the trigger on a random one. If I find one that looks like it matches pretty close, or the opposite, it looks like it matches completely opposite, but it's the same style, I would probably buy it, and that way I just wear two shoes that mismatch. I don't really care. And then, as for the broken light, I bought another light that came in, I put it together. I turned it on and kind of played around with it in that way, but I haven't really played around with it to see how it's going to work, just because I haven't really had time to film in the studio. So I'll try to work into some of that here too. I'm also kind of thinking about writing and recording a new intro song and a new outro song. I don't really have any ideas for what they're going to sound like yet. It'd be kind of interesting to get into a writing mode and maybe share how I write when I sit down and try to come up with a new idea, and let you guys hear that and kind of see that process. But yeah, I'm thinking about making a new intro song, or I might wait and work on that maybe like the month of November, December, when I'm kind of spending a lot more time with family and stuff. I should have more downtime in between, so I can have some time to maybe write, record a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly yet. I honestly, I was just trying to get through October into November, kind of reassess everything going on, and then figure out what I can get done before the end of the year. Because I always have this goal of trying to put out a song before January 1st. It didn't happen last year, but I've got enough stuff going that I can maybe figure it out this year. Take some work, but like so far, doing these videos helps me a lot, because the work that goes into these videos, while it is a lot of work, and these videos I don't get paid for them, so this is just free content for you guys to witness kind of my life, I guess, the more I share and show. But for me, it's kind of an exercise of practicing, recording, writing, editing, mixing, doing all these different things that are not just all video. The video is actually kind of easy, because I used to use a GoPro for the most part. So I just cut and edit, parts of the video together. And like, maybe 2 different days of video, if that happens, or most of the time I just have all the GoPro video from one single day. unless it's like a studio day or something, and that could be different. But most of the time, it's all one single day that you guys are seeing. But it's the video part's straightforward, but the actual recording the audio and like showing how I do the different things and doing the different pieces of audio, and you guys watching me actually perform that's the part that, like, the music aspect of it takes a lot more, because it just takes a lot more work to like write and record a song, and to put all the parts of the song and then mixing and mastering. Like, I'm essentially like doing the equivalent of putting a single out within a week's time frame, and I give myself that deadline, so it forces me to come to a conclusion, get a product that's usable, and put it out there very quickly, and then not try to be too hard on myself about what it sounds like. Because if it's a product that's going out, or like it's going to be on Spotify and YouTube, or not YouTube, but Spotify, or being streamed and played on music platforms, then, I mean, it takes so much work to get in there, and you can go into this option paralysis where you just find that you have so many avenues and options for ways of getting that song to sound a certain way, and you just get lost in the process, and then you end up not putting anything out at all. And I don't want to do that. I want to get things out quickly, and for me, this process actually helps me get videos out quickly. Like, I'm kind of forcing myself to make executive decisions and then roll forward with them. And for, at least for my brain, the way I work, like, I actually usually don't do things that quickly. I like to take my time and make sure I got it, like, right. Not that I'm a perfectionist, because I know my limitations. I know when I can't get it to that extra percentage where I would like it. But you don't get better at something unless you keep trying it, and you just incrementally get better over time. You don't just jump ahead. So for me, I needed to give myself some little avenue to be able to work on things myself, and then I have to force myself to have deadlines, and this was the best way that I thought of doing it. I was like, well, maybe somebody will get some entertainment out of it. Maybe I'll meet some other people, which that's also a thing I'm doing with this. I'd like to meet other musicians. I know a lot of musicians, but I also know a lot of people that don't really want to play anymore. Like, people are getting out of it. And then also, with the economy not being too good, a lot of people are getting out of it because, I mean, you just don't make a lot of money in music. It's hard. And the people that were just gigging musicians, you know, the guy that picks up a couple of gigs here and there with different bands, well, now those bands, they're still getting paid the same. You know, when you go out and gig, you get paid the same. And then when you have to pay a hired musician, you're essentially paying them the same breakdown that you paid them, because you're making the same amount of money. Well, that money for you as an artist isn't going as far, but it's also, you're not able to up the amount that you're paying the hired gun. And for them, it's really not going as far, because you're probably taking a bigger amount out of it for the expense of the overall cost. You know, it's kind of like owning a business. You have more overhead than the people that work for you. But a lot of people that were gigging musicians, they just can't afford a gig. I'm noticing patterns where people are playing less or wanting to play less. And I don't really know what the fix is with that, to be honest. I grew up playing music and playing live to people essentially for free. I just loved it, had fun doing it. And then I noticed the people that they were just out there to get money, well, they gave up really quickly. And then they might dip their toes back in at another point if they were asked to by a friend or something. But they never really just like committed to it. But that, to me, kind of signaled that they probably never loved it. Because when you love something, you commit. See where I'm going with this? Going to weddings. So, today's dad advice is going to come from a speech that I gave at the wedding, because I was the best man. So, I'll let the speech do the talking for me.
The way I know a lot of other people here probably do jiu-jitsu with him. Y'all are known for that. And then there's people probably here that have played poker with him, because he was playing poker quite frequently. Yeah, like that. Yeah. And then besides that, when you think of these kind of things, it's usually like aggressive things, kind of fighting. So it kind of makes sense. In thinking about that, the thing that's comes to my mind about what's going on today with them getting married, this is actually a marriage, which is actually a lot like fighting. Which, I know, doesn't seem like it, right? But, well, yeah, I know. In a marriage, I'm married, we fight. The thing is, in actual marriage, it's not so much that y'all are fighting, it's more that the entire world is fighting against you. We have a culture in society that they try to promote divorce, they try to promote being single, staying single, doing things on your own. So to actually get married is a big deal, because you're fighting against all of culture telling you to do otherwise. So that's the real fight right there. So you can do jiu-jitsu all day, you can shoot guns all day, but really the real fight is actually trying to work with another human being and have a partnership. Because it's like, y'all are two individuals trying to work it out constantly.
All right, so remember, pull hard and play hard.